We've finished up this first page, the formatting worksheet. Let's go to the formulas and functions worksheet now. We'll just click on that. And we need to distinguish formulas from functions. A formula is just when you do a math problem. That's all. Except we don't put the numbers in there, we put the cell names in there. And I'll show you why in a second. They always have to start with an equal sign. Functions are the same thing except somebody already wrote the math for you. So if you're not good in math, all you have to know is which function words to use and tell the computer which cells and it does all the math for you. Both of them start with an equal sign, although with the formulas we usually type it by hand, and with the functions usually we use a click method, and so the computer adds the equal sign for us. Here are two little videos about doing formulas and functions, and I very, very highly recommend them to you, even though you're watching this video. So let's start with the wrong way to do a formula. And if you're going to do this, you don't need a spreadsheet. You just get out your calculator on your phone. But let's say we want to add 2 plus 3. So we could say down here equals 2 plus 3, and we would get the right answer. But what happens if you change that number up there later? Now you've got the wrong answer because you did it by hand. So what we'll do then is we'll use a method, the functions and the formulas method, and I'll show you how that works. Remember, over here on the right hand side are all the answers, the same as on the other worksheet. Remember? Over there. Okay, so let's go try. There's the formula method and the function method. I'm going to click in this box. That's step 1. Click where you want it to go. And step number 2 is I'm going to do a regular formula. So I'll type the equal sign by hand. And then I can either click or type. I'm going to click. Click the cell I want to include. Not the number in the cell, not the value in the cell, but the name of the cell. And then I have to know to press the plus sign and then click on the second one. You know what? You don't have to click. You could type it. You can even type small letters like that, except you do have to type the right answer. There we go. You can either click or type, whichever you like. And when you press the enter key, see how it said which cells they were? Yeah. When you press the enter key, it gives you the answer. And then over here on the right, I wanted to show you what you typed. And so I used a special function, actually. It's called, you don't have to learn this, but I said, whatever formula they wrote in there, in that cell, show it to me here. So I did that for you. But here's the answer over here to be sure you did it right. And then we'll do the same thing again, except this time, instead of typing the formula, we'll use the sum function. If you remember from your math class, or if you don't, I'm telling you, that the sum function means add them up. I could press the enter, the equal sign here, but I'm going to use the click method, so I'll just let it run way up here to the top and find that funny squiggly E, which is a math symbol. It means summation. And I can click on the drop down arrow and choose sum. Now I'm showing you this because that tooltip will go away. I'm showing you this because when we get to Excel 2, we'll use those also. And there are even more, but we'll just use sum for now. So step 1, click where you want it to go. Step 2, click which sum you want to use. Now step 3 is the most important part. Notice that the computer thinks I want to add B, what is that, 5? 15, B15, B16, and B17. Do you see how it says that? Well, computers are stupid. I'm sorry. They only know what they can guess at, and they're wrong lots of times. So I'm going to select the cells I want to include, or at least eyeball it to be sure it's right, one or the other. Lots of times it's right, but there are certain times when it's wrong, and I made sure to put wrong examples in there so you'll learn to follow the rules. And step number 4, you can see over here, step number 4 is press the enter key. So now I did the same answer, but I did it two different ways. And if you notice here how it says B15 colon B16, that means from here to there. And the colon is the way we write that. We only had 2 cells here, but some, you could have 100 cells. So, all right. Let's try the same thing again. Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to take those answers out. Let me write myself a note to do that before I give it back to you. Alrighty. Same thing again. Same song, second verse. This is the formula one, so we'll press the equal sign and then type or click, whichever you want. I'll type one, okay. B20, 4 plus, I'll click this one, B25, and you can see that you chose the proper cells. Press the enter key. Ta-da! All done. This is what you typed. This is the answer. And one more thing to show you is up here on what's called the formula bar. It's called the formula bar. It shows what you typed. It shows the formula in the cell, whereas down here it shows the answer in the cell. You see? And also be careful because a student had this problem just yesterday, actually. So the formula bar is this, and the formula tab is at the top. There, you see formula tab? Those are two different things, and they have two different purposes. I'll be up there in a second to the formula tab. Okay, here we go. So click where you want it to go, step 1. Step 2, click which cell you want to use. I mean, not which cells, but which function. So which function do you want to use? I want to use the sum function, which I already have. Step number 3, check and be sure they're the right cells, which they aren't. So I'll click and drag to select the ones I want. Step number 4, press the enter key. There we go. So that's my answer. And here's my formula, right? On the formula bar is the formula. And here's where I had the computer write what you wrote. And here's the answer. Trying to help you out. Well, you can do the same thing sideways. So let's add horizontally. First we'll do the formula and then we'll do the function. Same thing again. Equals. I'll click. Is that okay? Click plus click plus click. Press the enter key. Now I have some students that, like, they took Excel in, I don't know, high school or whatever, and they learned how to do this. So here we got like 10, 15 rows to add up, and they're doing it like that. Whew. So much easier to do the sum formula, which I'll put here. So step number 1, click where you want it to go. Step number 2, click which function you want to use. I'll just click the picture because I know I want sum, and that's first. Step number 3, which cells do you want to include? Yeah, right, E34. No. So correct the computer. Step number 4, press the enter key. There we go. It's not so hard, really. But you have to practice it a few times. That's why I gave you so many practices. Now, for this, if you need to practice some more of these, please do that first, then delete it, and then come back and learn to do it this way. I'll show you another way. So step number 3, this is method number 3. This is for the other, not the first formula, but the other ones. So I'll use this. Step 1, click where you want it to go. Step number 2, click which function you want to use. Step number 3, hey, it's right. Yay! Step number 4, press the enter key. Okay? Now then, here's the cheating. Watch this. Down there is that fill handle, right? I'm having trouble driving the mouse. Right there is the fill handle, itty bitty square. When you put your mouse over it, change from the hollow cross, and not the hollow cross is to select, and crosshairs is to move. We did that. And now we want the crosshairs, and the crosshairs is to fill. And fill can have different meanings depending on what you're doing. So once I get the fill handle, I'm going to just write. You have to have kind of faith here. You have to go more than halfway. And fill over to here. I could do this one too, or I don't have to. If you're an accounting student, it matters. If you're not an accounting student, who cares? And then what happened was, this one is the B column, you see? B. All right. Then this one is, oops, sorry. Well, I should have done that earlier. Well, let me just do that now. I'm going to go, well, I do it with Control Left Accent, but you might rather to memorize that in the formulas, you can show your formulas. And you see here now what I have is column B, column C, column D. You see how it did that? And then to get back to the normal view, you can, as long as I'm here, Let's go down to the snipping tool, and I'm going to say make a new snip. And I'm going to snip to show that I did a formula. So you prove to me formulas, you have to do that. Okay, save that there. Now flip back to the normal view again. That's the thing lots of people miss. Flip back to the normal view, and then click where you want it to go and right click paste. You see how the formulas all show? I have you do that. Yeah. Okay, once more here. I got to go back to the home tab. Okay. Click where you want it to go. Click which function you want to use. Select the cells. It's right. Press the enter key. And then I can click back on the first one. Go find the fill handle. Fill down. You can put it there too. Whichever. Okay, just like that. Did you get it? Or are you going to have to rewind that video and watch this all again? Because I tell you what, let me get rid of my email. Good grief. Get rid of it. Close that up. You didn't want to see my email, right? Or maybe you did. You would have seen it was food. One track mind I have. Anyway, oh no, it takes you several tries to get it the first time, and then once you've got it, you're fine. So here's one more try, and it's a little bit confusing. Maybe I'll fix these instructions, but here, add sideways, and let the computer choose what to do, and it'll be wrong. I'm going to do it for you just very quickly so you'll see what will happen. And when I fill down, let me just do do them all. Okay, and then we'll do this one. Now, look, see what happened? The first two, it added sideways, horizontally. But when I got to the third one, it said, oh, I got two on top of me. I'm going to add vertically. Wrong. And if you're not watching, you'll have the answer wrong. And the way you can tell is that, why you're not being cooperative. Of course, when I'm in the middle of video, nothing works. You're supposed to get this little green triangle right there in the corner, which isn't showing up for some reason. I'm sure, I have no idea. And it will show you that your formula there is not the same as the formula in the surrounding cells. So you see if you can do it. Maybe I did it too fast. I don't know. But another practice. And then do each of these by hand. You'll get the answer right. And then do this another time and use the fill handle. So you only do one and then fill down. So you have wrong, right, right. 3 different ways of doing it. Be sure to save. Save. Okay, there we go. I saved. Now let's go over and look at sheet 2. And in sheet 2, I have a separate video, so I didn't do this for you. I told you what to do here. And here's a video about how to do a whole spreadsheet, just in case you need some help. And then down here are some extra instructions on how to rename your worksheet and how to color your worksheet. That was a right click, by the way. And the sheet you're on will be colored half color. And then if you go to another sheet, the other sheets that you're not on will have a full color. So you play around with that, color them all, and then make yourself just one little, some, I don't care what, some little thing, because you have to have several practices in order to get the idea of this, right? Yep, it's good. Then you can go on to the other exercises after that.